Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. So today it is Friday and I'm actually on vacation today. However, it did not start out in a relaxing vacation way because I had to drive Tyler to the airport at 3:45 in the morning. I mean, he did give me the option to get out of it. He did give me the option for him to take the train or for him to drive and pay for parking, but somehow I caved in, and so I was up very, very early this morning, but I did come back, got another few hours of sleep, and so I'm feeling well rested and ready to make the most of one of my last vacation days. I actually go back to work this coming Wednesday, and I do actually have a weekend trip planned on Saturday and Sunday, so today is one of those days where I'm just gonna bask in doing not very much. I'm actually planning to go on a hike this morning. I'm waiting for my clothes to come out of the dryer, and as soon as they're done, I'm going to head over there and do a nice 3-mile hike in a place that I've never actually been to before. I found it on the Strava app, which I recently downloaded, and it looks like it got really good reviews. So I'm excited to check it out before it gets too cold to be doing hikes. But before I get too carried away, I want to briefly chat about what I'm reading this week, and that is Lost and Found by Catherine Schultz. So I actually came across this book because it was on the National Book Award for Nonfiction long list. It's probably a book that I wouldn't have heard of otherwise or wouldn't have known a lot about. And this is kind of an interesting story because it's a memoir about maybe like 2 or 3 years of the author's life where she experienced intense tragedy with the loss of her father, who was kind of in and out of the hospital due to several chronic illnesses, and her kind of prolonged grief over losing someone that she was incredibly close to, and then followed by the Found chapter, which is about her finding the love of her life and kind of starting anew. I thought this book was going to be a lot more story-driven, conversational, a little bit more plot-driven, which is a weird thing to say about a memoir, but I thought it was going to be a bit more about her life. But it actually takes a lot of inspiration from different literature, different papers, and actually from the words lost and found themselves, how they've been used over time in literature. And so while it's not quite what I expected, I am really, really loving it. I find that the writing is just so engrossing and addictive, and before I know it, I've made it through like 100 pages of this book. So yes, very much enjoying this. I actually have made it all the way through the lost part of the book, and so I've just started the found part. So I'll share a few quotes later on in the vlog of this one, but so far it's been a very unexpected but exciting treat. So I think the laundry just finished. My laundry machine makes this ridiculous song, like it whistles a song whenever it's done, and I think I'm hearing it right now. So I'm gonna go get changed and then enjoy just a nice long hike on a crisp fall morning. It sounds like the perfect way to start the day, and hopefully I can find a new favorite hiking spot. So I'm back from my hike. It was actually a lot of fun. I ended up doing about 2 miles, and I did end up going to a place that I'd gone before because the place I had originally picked out, I was just getting a weird vibe. I don't know if it was just me being alone or, not seeing a whole lot of other people around, but I just didn't feel super safe walking there alone. So I decided to go to a place that I know and I love, and I really, really enjoyed my time. It felt like just a great refresh, a good kind of end to the week. But now it's time for me to make dinner, and because I've been doing so much traveling recently and Tyler's been in and out, we have not done much grocery shopping at all. So this is literally the last bits and bobs of the pantry. So I have some frozen ravioli, some garlic, some cherry tomatoes that really need eating up, some shallots. I'm not sure how long we've had these, so I'm gonna proceed with caution. We have some dried kind of herbs and spices. I'm gonna try and put together something that tastes good. The thing that we do have in so much excess is apples, because I actually went picking with my mom when I went there this past weekend to visit her. So maybe I'll do some kind of apple dessert or apple crisp of sorts after I cook main dinner if I actually have energy. But yes, I definitely have something like 25, 30 apples here, so more than I need. Gilbert, of course, is going to be super helpful with the dinner process. So anyways, we will see how this turns out.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now, there's something in the air, and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other. Beyond gravel, beyond all. Hand in hand.
Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday. I have a cup of apple spice tea here in my favorite wait, don't tell me mug. And I wanted to update you guys on my reading so far. So this morning for Lost and Found, I got to page 145. So I'm actually getting pretty close to finishing this one. I wanted to read just a little part of what I read this morning, just to give you a sense of what this book is like. So it says, the story of romantic love, the poet Anne Carson once observed, is always a story about the lover, the beloved, and the differences between them. That is true, but it is also true that the story of romantic love, especially as the lovers themselves tell it, is always a story about the lover, the beloved, and the similarities between them. Both contrast and likeness are inevitable in love, but our culture is conflicted about which matters most. Folk wisdom tells us that opposites attract, while also telling us the opposite of that. You simply must meet so-and-so. The would-be matchmaker insists you have so much in common. I think that quote really shows the introvertedness and the thoughtfulness of passages in this book, in that it's not about necessarily the events always, and there definitely are things that happen in this book. I don't want to make it sound like it's boring, but a lot of the intrigue and the interest and the thing that's keeping me so captivated is these little kind of thought experiments or references or little anecdotes throughout. And I think that that just makes this so special and so unique. So really enjoying this. I'm hoping to finish this tonight. I am planning to pick up Tyler from the airport tonight. He gets in at about 6:30. And I am going to pop to the grocery store and grab a couple of things as well. So if I have time, I would love to do a bit more reading of that. Otherwise, though, since it's the beginning of the week, I did want to note a couple of very exciting news things that are happening this week in terms of the bookish world. So today, all of the finalists for the National Book Award were released. And as you guys may know, this is one of the book prizes that I really like to follow on my channel. Last year, I did a vlog completely dedicated to the National Book Award for Fiction, where I read all of the books in one reading vlog. And I'm hoping to do something similar this year, but instead of in one vlog, splitting it up into a couple of vlogs. But anyways, I will pop up the fiction finalists onto the screen, and I should be reading those probably in later October or November. I had not heard of any of these books, and I think that usually the National Book Award balances kind of established or more well-known authors and debut or less known authors, and it's a really nice balance. But this year they've really gone with the debut and lesser known authors, and I'm actually very excited about it because I always like to discover new authors that I haven't heard anything about and kind of see what I think of them. That's how I discovered one of my favorite books of the year so far, Sorrow and Bliss by Meg Mason, was through a book prize. So I'm excited to see what this one has in store. I will let you know a little bit more about the timing of those reading vlogs when I know myself. So the other thing that I'm very excited about is that this is the week that the new Celeste Ng book gets released. I am a huge fan of Celeste Ng. So I read Little Fires Everywhere the year it was released, and then I read Everything I Never Told You, Ever Told You, her other book, like a year later, and I absolutely loved both of them. I think that her plots and her characters are so interesting, but she also kind of delves into different issues in her books without being very like in your face about it, which is something I really enjoy. So in her last book, definitely lots of commentary about racism, adoption, what else? Kind of family dynamics and family pressure. And I just think she does it so well. So her newest release that's coming out this week is Our Missing Hearts. It's actually, oh my gosh, is it out today? Okay, I'm definitely going to be picking this up when I go out to the grocery store because there's a Barnes & Noble right next door. And I don't really have a great understanding of what this is about. It's a little bit vague based on the synopsis. So I am going to kind of go into it blind. At the end of the year, typically I do a vlog where I read books that I haven't gotten to. And since it's nearing the end of the year, I might actually read this book as part of one of those vlogs. So or if I just cannot wait to pick it up and I need to pick it up this week, I might do that as well. Also, I had the most amazing weekend. I got to spend time with my brother and one of my really closest friends. They live close to each other, which is really nice. So when I visit one, I can visit the other. I will just pop in a little montage of my weekend and what we did after this clip, but it was just a great fall kind of catch up, chill time, and I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, tomorrow I go back to work, so I'm just trying to kind of make the most of today and get the last bits that I need to get done, and also pick up this new Celeste Ng release because I had no idea that it was today. It's so exciting. All right, I'm gonna cut to what I did over my weekend. So it's now Friday and I'm popping in on a very gloomy fall evening to close up this vlog. I'm sorry in advance if the lighting is not great, but just been gloomy and cloudy all day, so there wasn't really much of another chance to film. So I did end up finishing Lost and Found, and I overall just loved this memoir. So I ended up finishing this book earlier today as I was watching some wild card baseball, which is very on brand for me this summer, reading with baseball on in the background, and I ended up really adoring this book. I feel like as it went on, I just related more and more with the author and with the story, and particularly the found section where she talks about her experience of falling in love. I just thought that part was so well thought out, and the way that the beginning and the end of that kind of played together was just so perfect. And then I didn't really know what to expect from this last part of the book, which is just entitled And. But it kind of is talking about literally the word and how it's been used. And so there was this example that I thought was really interesting about how when kids used to learn the alphabet, they used to learn like A, B, C, D, E, blah, 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 Z being the last letter, and then the ampersand or and would be at the end, which I had no idea and thought that that was super interesting. So she kind of talks a lot about how it's used in speech and how commonly we use it, and as I just did, connecting thoughts, connecting people, and I think it really was the perfect way to finish up this book. There is no grief without love. There is no love without grief. And I think that it just really tied everything together really well. Overall, I ended up giving it like a 4.5, rounded up to 5 stars on Goodreads. So certainly one of my favorite books of the year so far. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for this vlog. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And you guys can join me next week for my very first of the National Book Award finalist vlogs. I think I will be reading one of the fiction books in that vlog. So check out that video. It should be going up next Sunday. Fingers crossed. And with that, I will see you guys very soon with another video. Bye.